Hey, it's Justin here, just going for a walk here at night, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk about one of my top 3 productivity and efficiency hacks, which I'm happy to go into much more depth, which is the concept of minimum viable goals. So what is a minimum viable goal? Well, often when we set ourselves a goal, for example, go for a jog for an hour, that particular goal can be quite daunting, and that's where procrastination will set in. What we want to do is we want to ease that pathway, create a transition, and make it so that doing this activity isn't so daunting, it just becomes a habit. It becomes something that's easy for us to do. For example, it doesn't take much motivation to brush our teeth or wash our face or take a shower. Likewise, when we create plans, we want to create plans that require the least amount of motivation possible. If a plan requires a high amount of motivation, then it is not going to be a plan that is sustainable. And so because we want to make plans that are sustainable and plans that work, we need to make sure that the plans are relying on goals that are achievable even on our worst days, because those bad days are the ones that spiral out of control. They lead to more and more bad days, and they lead to bad weeks and demotivation cycles. And we want to cut that. We want to make sure even on our worst day, we're minimally at least productive, and we're developing the habits that allow us to just do things automatically without requiring much motivation. And so that's where the idea of a minimum viable goal will actually come in. The concept is actually very simple. So for example, instead of going for a 1-hour jog, we would split that into getting into our clothes, putting on our running shoes. We'd split that into going outside the house for just 10 seconds. We'd split that into going for a jog for 30 seconds. And at each point, we give ourselves the real possibility to truly and simply just stop and go back to whatever we were doing. And that means that we always have the option of only achieving that minimum viable goal and leaving. And that is hugely empowering because we don't have this huge daunting thing that we need to achieve. Instead, we can simply achieve the first step and then worry about the immediate next step. So if motivation is required for that next step hasn't been done correctly. It's vital that each step along the chain requires as little motivation as possible. And so the minimum viable goal strategy is one that I use extensively. I often feel lazy and I want to procrastinate. And to cut that, I just say, okay, I'm going to procrastinate, but after I achieve this minimum viable goal, after I get outside, after I open up a program, after I start writing an essay, after I start studying, then I give myself the chance to give up, especially with things that are important, that you know are important, but you don't give yourself the time to do, like meditation or mindfulness or journaling or self-care or studying or work. You can use this for any aspect of your life to live a life free of the need of motivation and full of tiny, seemingly insignificant goals that over time will allow you to achieve larger and more meaningful goals. So I'm going to carry on my walk because I've been bitten like 20 times standing there over the last 5 minutes recording this video. Stay efficient, and I'll see you next time.